Hello, I'm John Bachman. It's official now. All members of the military returning from the Ebola mission in West Africa must go into quarantine for 3 weeks. Here's Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel making the announcement a few moments ago.
What I signed this morning was a memorandum to the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in response to the memorandum of recommendation I received from the Chairman and the Chiefs.
The Chairman of the Joint Chiefs asked for that quarantine for all troops after they finished in West Africa. The Army put a quarantine policy in place several days ago for dozens of soldiers who are currently under quarantine in Italy.
So the soldiers are doing great. We're not frustrated at all. Of course, we're soldiers, and so we're used to executing orders.
That is General Williams, commander of the U.S. Army mission in Africa, speaking via video because he, too, is under quarantine in Italy. On the civilian side, an ongoing controversy over quarantines. Nurse Casey Hickox, who was held in a mandatory quarantine facility in New Jersey before she was released to her home state of Maine, tells the Today Show that she's had enough of her sequestration and she's going to free herself from confinement tomorrow, despite recommendations from health officials. And ISIS ratcheting up the brutality in Iraq today. About 30 Iraqi men, tribal fighters, allied, and that's the wrong video, we apologize, allied with the Iraqi government, were lined up and shot by ISIS in broad daylight in the town of Hit, that is just west of Baghdad. That town fell to ISIS last month. In Virginia today, they're looking for clues in that video you just saw there after a rocket headed to the International Space Station exploded just after liftoff. No one was on board the rocket and no one was hurt on the ground. It was carrying about 5,000 pounds of supplies and experiments to the station, the International Space Station. It was all destroyed. NASA contractor Orbital Sciences built that rocket, but NASA promises the ISS is still well stocked thanks to our space partnership with Russia, of all people. In Kazakhstan, engineers there successfully launched a Russian-made Soyuz rocket. It is carrying about 3 tons of supplies to the crew aboard the ISS. And the investigation into the Secret Service prostitution scandal in Colombia. Apparently, the investigator, has resigned amid accusations he, too, visited a prostitute. According to the Washington Post, the Department of Homeland Security's David Nealon stepped down in August after police in Broward County alleged that he paid for services. He'd been in charge of the department's investigation into the Secret Service's 2012 scandal in Colombia. Nealon denied those allegations. And does the Pope really believe in evolution and the Big Bang Theory? Well, speaking at the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, the Pope says both scientific theories are compatible with the existence of God. He says when we read Genesis, we run the risk, in his words, of imagining God was a magician with a magic wand, but he says that's not so. He says God created and then let evolution take over. Another update for you in 30 minutes. Now back to Midpoint.